This is your boy Alan will be the billionaire. So Eugene, so we have been doing tours on your fields, and you have been doing hot cash row. So today I've brought you for the cash crop. Just a few insights. I think how many hours have we used to walk around in my fields?
Oh, so we came around 2.
Yeah, and
Right
it's
now it's 5.
5,
So that's almost 3 hours.
and with the help of motorbike. So
Yes.
without the motorbike, we'll be doing like 5 hours.
Mm.
So what can you tell people about the investments I've put in these fields?
So it's a lot. It's quite a lot of work. I didn't imagine it was this much work. And yeah, apparently this must have taken you years and years
Exactly.
of investment and sacrifice.
Yeah.
Uh,
And many people have been asking me, Alan, can you get us land for leasing? Many people have been telling me to identify land for them, but what's your advice? I don't want to talk, because if I talk, many people will assume I don't want to do the task.
you have to get off your couch. If you are thinking that you'll be staying up in Nairobi or in a big town and eventually you're going to make things happen, that's not how it works. So as we've been rotating around these villages, every homestead there is a sugarcane plantation, and apparently people are so much invested in around this area. I can see there's no, you're unlikely to come across land that is vacant. So there is a lot of sugarcane plantation. People are scrambling for land. The value of land is going up. People are invested in sugarcane. Even the areas that were formerly planting vegetables are now doing sugarcane. So maybe in 2 or 3 years, most of the free land you can see like behind us will not be there.
Yeah.
So the people who are there, in whatever comfort you are, just know that in the village, people are making things happen.
Exactly.
Uh,
And that's what I've been telling people, that if you tell me to help you get land, it's not possible. I don't know the area you come from. I don't know the soil categories in that area, in those areas. And you can't be in Busia, Nairobi, Kitale, and you want me to get land to the areas I am. No, because automatically you will be asking me to do the management for you, but that's not part of my plan, because I'm also a traveler, just like the other people who like traveling. Today you'll see me in the village, tomorrow you'll see me in the city. So I just try to manage my things in a way that I am able to do. So for the people who want to invest in farming, so guys, Eugene has a word for you, especially at the moment he's doing Skuma Wiki. Eugene, can you tell these young guys?
so, like the pieces of land we've been working, estimately, if this guy were to harvest at once, most likely maybe his value is between 5 to 10 million. You see?
Yeah.
Because I can see it's more than 10 acres. Should be more than 10 acres of work,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
When did you begin?
I began 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So this is 6 years of
Hard work.
6 years of hard work.
Yeah, and
Right?
pain. Yeah.
And I'm so sure if somebody were to call you for more land right now, you'll still go.
Automatically, I need more land.
Right?
Yeah. Before I give somebody any referrals, I also need that land.
Right?
Yeah.
So the more you do this, the more appetite you have for.
Yeah, it's like this is like a meat pie.
Right?
Yeah.
And anytime you have free money, you are not thinking about pizza or going whatever.
No.
You are thinking about doing something.
Yeah, because
going to look for land and starting a new project, right?
you know I'm running like 3 projects at the moment. I have
Yeah.
like 3 lands that I have prepared, not for sugarcane, but for horticulture and specifically cabbages and sukuma wiki. So if I have money and the money is sitting in the bank, then I'm losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing. But this is also, I normally tell people, just first learn how to invest, because eventually you cannot come in this industry with 50,000 or 100,000. This is not an easy game. You will lose your money and you will go broke. But at least when you have something, a fallback, then you're good to go. Exactly, because actually this is part of the land that I was doing maize few years ago. 2018 I was here, but when we agreed I took 1 acre so that I can do the cans, and this part remained. But maybe I can convince the madam to give me this part. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So you realize one thing, huh?
Yes.
When you start involving yourself in creative projects,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Your mindset shifts.
Exactly.
So you stop being a consumer. You start
Every
being
time
a
you are
producer.
producing, you want to
Right?
produce.
Every time you are thinking, what can I do? What more can I do?
Yes.
Right? What new project can I do?
Yes.
Like this year now, you are going into vegetables
and I'm going
right?
hard on it. Yeah.
So you already have 3 acres right now.
Yeah, I have 3 acres for veggies, and but I will just subdivide. I will give 1.5 acres for maize, then the rest I will do veggies, because I don't want to take a full risk on veggies. I've seen the projects you have been doing. It's not that I never liked the projects, but I just fear the risks.
The risk.
Yeah, that come with those horticultural crops. So I also want a fallback. And you know, the people who lease maize lands, they only give you 1 year. So if it was for like sugarcane where you do like 5 years, then I'll automatically experiment with it, the whole land, with maybe horticultural, those are onions, sukuma wiki and cabbages. But at the moment I can't do that. Yeah.
So in terms of your expectation from vegetables, what is your expectation? Since you're coming from a different crop, with a different experience, with a different cash flow, with a different investment.
So my expectations are not quite high, because for me, I understand farming. Farming is not where you project profits before you make anything. So at the moment, I'm not projecting profits in the veggies, anything. I want to learn and also understand the process, because I'm planning to acquire more land in a very far end, some of the places that I haven't been there. So I'm using these small pieces of land as a keynote. So once I get the gist right and plan all the logistics, and then I get them right, then I'm going to do even 5 acres of veggies. But you know, the differences in experience is this. This is a long-term project. Like the Kenza are long-term projects. The horticulture are short-term, but the intensity is almost the same. The heat, a petrol heat that burns so quick is not that different from another heat
Coal.
the coal that
Makaa.
consumes for long. You know, once it picks up, the heat is the same, the temperatures and everything is the same. So the only difference is, how do I maintain the short-term heat? How do I contain it? How do I make sure that it doesn't burn beyond my expectations? So that's the only difference. But for process, investing, the hard work and everything, that's why I'm not in the city at the moment. Because if it was easy, I'll be in the city and then making calls to the people on the ground to ask them to do the process. But you know, I can't afford that. Yeah.
So like for me personally, now that I've been engaged in vegetables, I realize there is an advantage in this that is not necessarily for vegetable farming, right?
Yeah.
So here, you're going to wait for 18 months.
Yeah.
But when the money comes, it
It's lump
comes
sum.
in lump sum,
Yeah, good
Right?
money. Yeah,
and it allows you to do something big.
bigger,
Right?
bigger. Yeah,
So like this is almost an acre.
yes,
So if this one is going to come, it's going to come maybe in lump sum of 350
yeah, around
400,000.
400k.
Right?
Yeah,
And now that you have several,
yeah,
so most likely within a year, you're going to be making almost, let's say, 1 or
let's
2 million.
give it even 1.2 m.
Right?
Yeah,
So if somebody gives you 1.2 million
in a period of 4 months or
in a
5
period
months.
of 4 months,
Yeah.
if you have that cash in liquid form, you can do so much,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
At a go,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
For us in vegetables, now you find the do we call it gestation period?
Yeah.
Between the point you're doing the planting and the point you're doing the harvesting and the selling, 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now it's high intensity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And high risk.
Yeah.
So there is this guy called Freddy, Farm with Freddy.
Yeah, I know him. Yes.
Right? There's something he said. Alisema, diversify.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So when it comes to diversifying, my most important insight has been diversify in terms of cash flow.
Yeah.
Right? So like for you, hapa utangoja 2 years.
Yes.
Now that you are starting vegetables, you're going to wait for 3 months.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Ukianza sukuma, you'll be waiting for 1 week.
Yeah.
Umeona?
Yeah.
So hapo ukitaka mbolea, right? Instead ya kwenda Nairobi kufanya reports na kungoja kusumbuana na clients ya kutumia ndio upate mbolea. Now this time you're going to be selling your sukuma every week.
Yes.
You get your cash.
Yeah.
You can be able to offload some of these
things. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And those expenses are always intense because sometimes you might need fertilizer and you don't have anything in your pocket.
Exactly.
And once you miss
the guys who are doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Once you miss that stage where you need money to buy fertilizer and you don't have the money, then you are going to spoil your crops. So like cans, the advantage with cans, you can even delay a month. But when you're doing things like maize or even those veggies, if it needs fertilizer at that week, it's that week. You miss it, you don't get it. Exactly. And with that, those are some of the key lessons that we pick along these projects that we do, especially farming projects. When you're doing farming projects, there are a lot of things that you learn that people don't know.
You can't be taught in class.
Yeah. And remember, before you started farming, I know this period of time you will be in Nairobi. Yeah. But now you want to see by yourself. You want to understand. You want to learn. And remember, like 3 days ago, you were struggling to get people to do the weeding.
Yeah.
Imagine if you are not around. Who will you call to ask?
Nobody.
So those are some of the things. Even managing these people is a task, but that people assume. But once you start or you enter into farming, you will realize that other projects are even easier than farming. And you can make more money in farming if you are a serious farmer. Because how many people have we visited in this country that are making serious money? Millions of money. Millions of money.
We visited Ket, you remember?
I've visited Wambugu. There's this madam.
Then you end up visited another madam in Mranga.
Grace who has avocados. Then last week I was in Swam. People doing veggies.
Tanzoya.
Yeah, people. And
we went to Dr.
Amin up
in Bungoma.
And I booked 2,000 heads of cabbages.
Right.
You see, 2,000, they are charging me
almost 6,000. We are yet to visit
6,
another friend who is doing cassavas, 20 acres of cassavas.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So some of these things, people don't know that, farming is a dirt game, but the money, I always say, it's the cleanest.
Yeah.
It's the cleanest piece of coin you can touch when you're farming. And it's the sweetest money because one thing is you will not eat the money, you will just want to invest more. So at least we have had an evening session. It's around 6 p.m. We can now leave this location and ask these guys to subscribe on YouTube channel so that maybe we can be doing more.
If they want vegetables, we are now
Yeah,
vegetable farmers.
we are vegetable
Watu wa
farmers.
Nairobi,
Yeah.
watu wa Kisumu,
Tuta-
watu wa Eldoret, we can ship.
Now the thing is, us, we are not people who talk. We practice. So the good thing is we have knowledge both on ground and online. So we practice, we learn. We might not be perfect, but at least we try. When it comes,
nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
What you realize about this thing is one, right? The more you do it, the more you know you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And the more you find more information and more insight that you'll never think you'll have found anywhere else, even in a classroom. You see?
Yeah.
So when it comes to selling dynamics, when it comes to production dynamics, you come across so much wisdom that you could not even learn online.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
So like what I didn't know about agriculture that I'm getting to know very quickly is cash flow is very important.
Exactly.
Right?
You are always looking for money.
Cash flow, if you have cash flow,
you can run this project smoothly.
You can scoop so many opportunities
in the farm.
Because in the village you realize one thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
In the village, one thing you realize is that people don't give out their land.
Yeah.
Actually, right now, people don't give out their land.
Yes.
Because they have discovered the value of the land, right?
Yes, yes.
But the people in the village are short of cash.
Yeah, the needs.
Right?
Yeah.
And when trouble comes, the first thing they want to dispose of is land.
Land, nothing else.
Right? So if you have cash, somebody is going to call you and tell you, tuna mgonjwa, tunahitaji bill, we want 20,000 right now. Can you we give you this land?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if you have cash,
then you're getting
the
land.
You're going to get the land.
But now it doesn't stop there, because once you get the land,
now you have to
make
step
it
in, and now start doing.
You have to make sure that the land is producing, because you can also.
Like last week, a guy called me, right? Just next to my piece of land, he wanted immediately 20,000.
And you don't have the money.
And I didn't have the money.
So
and I've been eyeing that piece of land for
the longest period. I remember you told me last year, but now.
And now somebody's calling me and telling you, okay, mtoto tunahitaji fees, right? Tunataka kupea shamba miaka mbili. But now we need money by today evening. Do you have 20,000?
You don't have.
Right? Say 20,000.
You have the onions that the prices are so bad. You can't even dispose them.
I can't dispose them at that time. Some of the money I've used to do the other
project that you are learning.
So I've run out of money, right?
Yeah.
So you realize the things that will pay you in the long run is knowing the networks. There are people who in the village who mtu akitaka kupeleka shamba, right?
Yes.
Wanaenda to so and so.
Yeah, they know. Like if you have been leasing lands here, anytime there is a need, they will always refer you to somebody, because all these lands that I've acquired, I've never gone out to look for them.
Right.
So
somebody just calls.
Yeah, they always give out my number. If you want to lease your land, call this guy. If I miss, I will refer it to my uncle or my friend that I know, because these are not. Also, I'm not going to refer anybody, because I'm not there to handle these projects. I need somebody who is also responsible, understands this game, and he has been here before. So it has been a good evening conversation. Do we call it even a podcast or what? But
this is a podcast. Yeah, this is a farm
podcast. Yeah.
Let's call it farm pod.
Yeah. So we want to develop this content for future brand. Also, we want to brand ourselves. We want to walk across the globe talking about farming, and some of these careers that we were yearning for in the cities, we have come to realize that they are good, but they're not.
They don't
good
bring
enough.
in the fire.
Yeah, they are good, but they are not good enough. So you realize that there's a time I was thinking, like, if one day I'm not employed in the city and I come back to the village, will I be able to survive? Those were like 5-6 years ago. I was very fearful when it comes to job employment. Now it's 2025. I don't even think about going to the city because for me, I'm like, where I am, it should be making me money. So if I'm in the village, I should be making money. If I'm in the city, I should also be making money. I don't want to come to the village for holidays or you're traveling to your rural home because you're going for a holiday. No, it should be something productive. And I encourage young people who think the village is bad, just know that in the village people are also making money, although they are and do you realize that the only difference between the village and the city is the city shapes our mind, how we think, and how we spot opportunities, especially those people who do research and read books. Because once you read books and research, you realize that you dissect the information differently from the people who are in the village, because we have farmers in the village, but the way you will use your money, it's not the same way they will use their money. Okay? Yeah.
The city is rich in information,
Yeah.
but poor in execution.
Yeah.
The village is good with opportunities, but poor in information, right?
Yes.
So for you, if somebody gave you an opportunity in the village, you see it in a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But for the village person, yeye anataka tu kuweka hapo mahindi, alishe watoto
na waende walipe school
shule,
fees,
right?
na warudi
But
jioni.
you are thinking, how can I make 2 or 3 million out of this?
Piece of land or
right?
something, or the project.
How can I sell to people in the city? How can I sell? How can I put a fish pond here?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So you come and see that you're saturated with knowledge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But because of the comfort of the city, we are not leaving the city to come and explore these opportunities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you have the courage to leave the comfort of the city,
yeah,
and come even for 2 months,
just see,
or just try,
yeah,
right?
Then go
just
back.
Try one project.
Yeah.
You're not going to be sitting in the city over a weekend. You're not.
You can't, because it tastes different.
You are now you become alive.
Yeah, the zeal that comes with the village, when you understand it, so it's totally different, because
you become
I
alive.
have increased my days in the village.
Creator,
yeah,
you see?
Yeah.
Right? And you are engaging yourself in something that's productive, a project that is creative. From an idea, you are bringing it to life.
Yeah.
Right? And you are testing your grit, you are testing your zeal, you are expanding your network of the people you know, the people you work with, the land owners, the people you are selling these products to.
Yeah.
So by the end of 1 year, you are totally different person. From the confinement of the office, you only know your colleagues and your boss and some of your clients, and it stops there, right?
Exactly.
So here, you're expanding your reach.
And the network in the village is also growing.
In the village. And it's not just in the village.
So you have two networks that are strong.
Yes.
The city network and the village network.
Right.
So it's you who will connect the 2 points, because the 2 terminals is where majority of us miss.
Right.
The terminal in the city and the terminal in the village.
Right.
So majority will either focus in the village and leave the city, or the city and leave the village. But remember, the 2 places have almost equal opportunities. Just make sure that you double the opportunities, because when you bring the 2 opportunities together, so you will be working with 4 instead of 2. Yeah.
And there is also another element with network, right?
Yeah.
You are a producer and you are a seller.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So on the production side, you're expounding your network.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The people who are supposed to give you land, the people who are connecting you to land, the people who are working on your land, right?
Yeah.
You are continue expanding that network.
True.
The next time you're going to swamp, right?
Yeah.
you are going to be knowing people there.
Exactly, and
Right?
now I have contacts.
So if you, the first time you get 5 acres, by the end of the first year, you'll have known 2 or 3 other people who can connect you to 5
More.
other or
10 acres.
10 acres, right?
Yeah.
When you're coming to sell whatever you're going to plant there, right?
Yeah.
You get to know somebody in Lodwa,
Yeah.
in Kakuma.
Yeah.
You get to know somebody in Kitale.
Yeah.
You get to know somebody in Eldoret, in Kisumu, in Kampala.
Yeah.
So on the sales side,
Your network is
you are
also growing.
expanding your network.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So by the end of the first project, you're not the same.
Exactly.
Whether you've profited or whether you've made a loss,
And
in
people,
terms of the intangibles you've built, right?
yes.
In terms of the people you know, the knowledge you know,
Yeah.
and the networks you've built.
It's more important
It's
than
more important.
you know people fear, because people will always, even I've seen many people who ask me about farming, their first question is always boring. When somebody asks you, does it have profit? You know, that's some of the questions that I avoid answering people. Do you know why? When it comes to profits, it's always individual effort. And also understand that when you want to make more money, learn how to scale. You know, you cannot make money in 1 acre. You can only make money in 5 acres plus. So scale and leveraging. So people who will always ask me that, Alan, do Kens have profits? My problem is not the answer that I'm going to give you. My biggest problem is, why are you always projecting profits before even doing? Because even if I tell you there's profits and you're not going to farm, doesn't make even any difference, because you don't have the energy to do the project. You are thinking is on profits alone. You did 4 acres of onions. How much did you make? In fact,
I'm here to sell.
In fact, you the money you invested in, I don't think you'll be able to make even, maybe you will be able to make a half, maybe a half.
Yeah.
Then start thinking of profits, and you haven't even made the invested money.
Yeah.
So how can you answer such a question?
Success is hard.
Yeah.
Success is that's why if you are not a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
You are likely not to respect a millionaire. And that's why you see these Gen Zs trashing billionaires and millionaires, because most of them, they really do not know what it takes. But somebody who has put their self in the game, and they have tested.
You respect the effort these guys have put in. Yeah.
Because you see the kind of pain and endurance you have to go through to make that first million. Then you see Cairo suffering, and people are trashing Cairo. You are like, you don't understand, right?
Yeah.
This person has played the game at that level, right?
You cannot even touch that. Yeah,
there is a pain to it. There is a character to it, right?
Yeah.
And there is an experience to it that the average person does not understand.
You cannot even comprehend.
You see?
Yeah.
So it is easy for you to think that when you get in, the first try, you're going to make.
It's like chips, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
That's not how it works. And everybody, I think and I know that everybody who has ever succeeded at anything, they will always tell you this. It is going to take time, right?
To make it.
And it is going to take more than skill for you to make it, right?
Yes.
So, if you're going to come in and expect that the first time you put in pap, unafinya hivi na pesa zinatoka, that's not how it works, right?
Yes.
You have to come in and build what we call intangibles.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The intangibles are in terms of knowledge and skill,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Network,
yeah.
and capital.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So capital itakusaidia to jump on opportunities whenever they come.
Yeah.
So somebody calls you, there is this opportunity, you have cash, you can jump in. Right?
Yes.
Knowledge, you have to turn a resource into an asset.
Yes.
Right? Because in economics or accounting, an asset is an economic resource, right? That can be able to generate income.
And the people.
So if you have land, and you are not generating income, that is not an asset.
And I told somebody that's an asset that we call dead asset.
Dead capital,
Yes.
or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So a resource is not necessarily an asset.
Yeah.
Hii shamba venye melala hivi,
It's a resource,
right?
but
It's
not
a
an
resource,
asset.
but it's not an asset.
Yeah.
This one is an asset.
This is an asset.
Right?
Yeah.
In 6 months' time, we're expecting it to generate 500,000.
Not 6 months, in 2 months
In
or
2 months' time, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're expecting it to generate 400 to 500,000.
Yes.
Right? In whatever, in the next 1 year, we're not expecting
Anything from this place.
Right?
Yes.
So what does it take? It takes knowledge and expertise, right, to turn this
into this. Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Now, the third element of the intangibles is network.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where do I sell this?
This.
Right?
Even though we have a readily available market, but
how do I sell?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
How do I go about selling? Right?
Yes.
How do I go about producing this?
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
Which information do I have? Who do I know? Right?
To get this.
You see? So the network aspect
comes in.
So you come and find you're going to build all these intangibles over time. You're not going to build them the first time you try.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
The first time I tried, when I was doing my onions.
You did half an acre.
I did have an acre.
Still you.
And I used somebody who had no idea.
Zero knowledge.
Of onions, right?
Yes.
By the time I was doing the seed bed, the nursery.
Yeah.
You remember you took that video?
Yeah,
you sent me when I was in Nairobi,
yeah,
right?
you were in Nairobi, and I asked you if these were the onions you are projecting to get something.
You see, almost 50% were dead.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But the person that I had entrusted had assured me that they know.
In fact, the worst part is you use somebody who doesn't have a smartphone. So
exactly.
You are not getting any information.
So I wasn't getting any information, right?
Mm.
So by the time I came and I asked around who here has ever done such a project, now, right now, I know so many people who have expertise and knowledge in that part, right?
Yeah.
Most of my guys in the farm, they actually have a lot of experience in it. You see?
Yeah.
Right now, we are in the phase of selling.
Yes.
As I can assure you, there are so many contacts I'm getting of people who are in the space of selling onions to Uganda, to Kisumu, to Lokichogio, to Lodwar, and what have you, right? Yeah. So by the end of maybe in the next 1 or 2 months, I'll have known more than 20 people just who are involved in the supply chain of onions,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Such like a network, such like an intangible, it takes time
to build.
Right?
Because in the offices, who will you know?
You
don't know anybody.
Right?
Yeah.
You'll not know all these things until you come to the ground
and start practicing.
And start practicing and trying and meeting people.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So I'm expecting right now, I can assure you there are no profits I'm making.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
There are no profits I'm making.
But
the networks I've built, the knowledge I've built,
the skills.
The skills I've built, I'm so sure they will compound into something bigger going forward. Right?
Yeah, it has been nice, guys. We can talk all along, and let's call it a day for today. And I hope that you guys can keep learning from us and many more people who talk about farming and agriculture. And let's just make sure that we fight the food scarcity that is coming up, so that you guys can have enough food and feed your family, and you can also pay farmers good money. Farmers need good money. They need to be motivated. Somebody like Eugene harvesting onions and then you're paying him 40 shillings in a kg doesn't make sense. So you guys think about that. Although the market regulates itself, we can still wait, but time is also essential. So we have had our sessions here. I am your boy Alano Be the Billionaire. Please subscribe on my YouTube channel, and peace.